Entering the Pat Mayo Experience.
Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, a very special Pat Mayo Experience presented by DraftKings. Thanksgiving Day spread picks and preview, free money teasers, a recap of last week. Plus, we will have the full Week 12 spread picks preview, Cust Corner show dropping tomorrow. So you get two shows for the price of one. That is our Thanksgiving gift to you. We're very thankful for our viewers, but we'd be even more thankful if you smash the like button to the video and give me your favorite play on Thanksgiving. Spread, total, prop, doesn't matter what it is. Also, if you're an audio listener, this is the time of year, like I said, to give back, to be thankful for the Pat Mayo Experience. Rate it 5 stars, leave a review, help out the show. Total time to do all of this, like 35 seconds. So we'd really appreciate it because we're going to be talking for like, I don't know, 3 hours or something like that this week. So if you can find it in your heart, please rate and review the Pat Mayo Experience. Also subscribe to Mayo Media Network. If you're an audio listener and you have a Gmail account, spend the 4 seconds. Subscribe, even if you never watch. Additionally, if you're the video viewer, subscribe to the audio podcast too. Help us out, all right? Geoff Fienberg's in the studio. What's up?
Hello, hello. Everything's great.
I know everything's
I'm
great
good.
with you. You can't contain your smile.
Listen, if this is what having 3 wins feels like, it's a pretty good feeling. I went to bed.
That's not what you're smiling about.
I went to
we
bed.
all know what you're smiling about.
I went to bed smiling. No, he's talking about
Not about the Chargers, though.
No, listen. 100% about the Chargers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Whoa,
yeah,
whoa, whoa.
sure.
Do you think I'm smiling at the misfortune?
Yes. When you heard that Tua was benched for poor performance, that brought a smile to your face. And if you're saying it didn't, you're lying.
Yes, but
Geoff
I'm
brought
not.
a smile to my face.
Jeff walked in that door like 15 minutes ago and he looked at Paul and I. He was like, Joe Burrow's dead.
That is such a lie. I feel for Joe Burrow. Tim is right. And I kind of snickered at what happened to Tua, but I'm horrified and I'm nauseous for what happened to Joe Burrow. I have nothing against the guy. I have a bet. It's like when you make a bet, you're like cheering for a golfer down the stretch. Doesn't mean you don't like the other golfer. Although Robert Streb beating Kevin Kisner in a head-to-head, where I got the match play guy, was a kick in the nuts.
You get lucky to get into that playoff to begin with.
No, I'm 3-putted on Friday. In the middle of my show,
I saw some people
on
on
my
Twitter had
show.
Streb.
Yeah, a lot nice hit.
EP hit like 250 to 1.
Yeah.
It's a great hit.
I doing my show on Friday, like what you hate. I got so mad because Kisner 3-putted from like 19 feet, and I'm like, that's it. We're gonna lose the tournament because of this.
And you were
Like
right.
you DraftKings guys.
That is not why.
No,
Kisner didn't win.
I understand that's why he didn't win. But I'm like, you DraftKings guys, like you're just how you get the weekend. It only matters how they actually score on Sunday. This matters.
I mean,
Everything matters.
Streb could have scored on Sunday too when he went in with a 3-shot lead and played the most mediocre golf ever in the final round.
Robert Streb playing mediocre. That would have been such a shocker.
Or Kevin Kisner. I mean, what did he shoot? 8 under on Sunday?
It's great. Listen, it happened 18. Kisner missed like a 13-footer, then Streb hits the 10-footer on 18 to get to the playoff.
He didn't hit the putt.
No, in the first playoff hole.
Yeah, and then he put it to like 2 inches.
Amazing. It was like what Sergio did in the one he won. Okay, we're now off base, but like a playoff
I mean, the Burrow
shot.
injury is not just a regular ACL and MCL tear. It seems like there's
Okay, now I'm horrified.
the report is that we've got significant knee
I'm
problems
sick.
beyond
I'm sick.
It's like
ligaments.
it
It's
sounds like
terrifying.
it sounds like the Alex Smith stuff.
It's horrible.
Well, but not quite. No, but he had like the bone protruding out of his skin,
right?
like I don't think that's the issue, but it's apparently a very, very, very devastating
I'm horrified.
knee injury. I mean, every ACL and MCL tear is devastating.
I wish
But
no ill will towards Joe
No.
Burrow. I had a
I really
future
like
which
him,
made
and
me
I'm
want Herbert
crushed.
to play better this year, but for the future, I have zero doubts everyone should be happy.
Do you know who Tim traded for last week in our keeper league?
No, he
he
didn't.
did.
I gave up Mahomes for him. Mahomes on a first.
Apologize.
I got Mahomes. No, I didn't give up a first. I got a first-round pick and Burrow for Mahomes because I just think Burrow is the real deal. And so this is heartbreaking for me, but more so for him and for Bengals fans. That's
You did it.
the thing is, like Claypool's
it.
obviously going to win Rookie of the Year now, and that's going to suck for all of us. We've been talking about QB winning rookie of the year. Like Claypool's going to have 18 touchdowns, and then that's going to be it.
Then I'll win my
If they go
fantasy-
15-1 or 16-0,
this is
and
what
he
we
has
were
18
talking about.
touchdowns, it's over.
Didn't I say this last week? Were we on air or off air when I did this? I've been saying this the whole time, and people have been poo-pooing me about Claypool. He plays for a preeminent franchise that is now undefeated.
And scores touchdowns. If he scores 17, 18 touchdowns, and they're 15-1, he's going to win it. That's just all there is to it.
Yeah. Listen, looks like a lot of guys are breaking records. The Steelers are a beautiful team. There's 10-0, and they don't have any like MVP candidates. That's like hyper rare.
And that could be the booby prize for them. That they
Sure.
give away.
Precisely. They had offensive
But
rookie of the year.
I really think he'll need to get to at least 16 touchdowns.
He might.
For him to make it.
I got him in my fantasy. I
he's en
traded
route.
for him at the deadline. Our deadline was 12:30 yesterday. Made a deal. Got Claypool. And if he wants to score 15 touchdowns,
You'll be
hopefully
okay with it?
I can get paid for it.
I certainly
It'll be a
hope that your
championship
deadline
week.
deal works out better than my deadline deal.
Well, why don't you just go acquire Tua next and do what you do?
Well, here's the crazy thing. He traded for Burrow because you can keep Burrow. Then he talked about, even before the injury, well, I wasn't sure if I was going to keep Burrow or not. He got this first-round pick. He can keep Mahomes in like the 9th round and decided to get rid of him.
No, I keep him in the 7th. But here's the thing, right? If you're going for it next year,
You want to have Mahomes.
I can replace 85 to 90% of what Mahomes is in the 7th, 8th, 9th round. I can't do that with a running back.
Tim,
I would rather have the extra lottery ticket take a run at a top-tier back than a quarterback. That, I think, is just playing the percentages.
No, see, I actually disagree with this. And I'm all about like late-round quarterbacks and everything like that. But you have the bullet 1 or 2 quarterback who's pretty consistently going to be up there every single year. He wasn't last year because he got hurt. But on a per-game basis, he was. Lamar led everyone, but Mahomes is right around consistent where he is. To try to replicate what he can do, to be number 1 scoring at quarterback, or at least almost be guaranteed to be top 3 at quarterback as a 7th round value for another 2 years? Like, dude, it's a very
But
valuable
if I'm
asset.
intending to go all, it is a valuable asset.
I can't believe you didn't shop him around. I would have given you a first round.
so this is another
I didn't
week,
think I was going to
another
get one at all.
another
So in fact, I
story.
got one.
Well, why don't you ever shop these things around?
When I get a deal I like, this is how I am in real life too. When I see something that I like and I think the price is fair, I just buy. That's what I do. I'm not one of these people who feels like you need to squeeze every possible penny you can out of every circumstance. That's not my nature. My nature is I go into it thinking, what's a price I would accept? And if I get what I want at below what I thought I'd have to pay, I just take it. That's who I am. Life is much easier
I
to live
agree
that
with
way.
you in a lot of sense, in a big sense. Like 88% of the players you would trade, I agree with you. But when it's time to trade Patrick Mahomes at your draft pick value in your league, the way your structure is, that's something you just put an APB out to the whole league.
Who wants him?
I own Hawkinson and Henry in my league, and I can only start one, and I had to hold to fill. And tight end's a bit of a wasteland. I'm not even saying either are that great. But I literally just sent a whole thing to my league. Listen, I'm dealing one of them this weekend. Just get back to me. One of them will not be on my team by the time like we hit the deadline. I got to move them. The whole league is on notice. I got a couple really unfair offers, a couple fair offers, and a deal I like and I make. That's how you do it.
Claypool?
Well, that ended up being a package.
Okay, so what I'm trying to hammer down here, Tim, if you threw that out to the league, you probably could have got more for it. But what you said is, hey, here's what I value it at if I think I get better than that. But we've come to learn from a lot of these Cust Corners and your purchasing power and what you think. And when you buy things, you don't even know what it costs. You have no sense of what the actual market is and how much you can get for them. That's just based on your opinion. Why not get some facts?
Well, there are no such thing as when it comes to facts as to what he's worth in a league with our particular rules.
Well, yes, there is. You can say, hey, this guy offered me this. Hey, Pat, what would you give me for Mahomes? And then I would tell you as well. And you'd be like, oh, that's a whole lot more than I thought.
Fair enough. But in my mind, I went into it thinking I'll take X. And then I got more than X. And I was like, well, then I'm going to do it. That's just, I guess, my personality. I see what you're saying. But my personality is I just like to get deals done. And I don't like to anguish over things for long periods of time if I'm getting back more than I thought I was going to get.
Paul.
I just want to say that Chase Claypool is on curse watch on Thursday's Thanksgiving
This is
football
true.
game at this point after what Tim started the show.
No, I like
saying.
Mapletron. I think he's good.
Do not use that name. That is a horrible name.
Yeah, it's so horrible that it's great.
No.
Unlike F1, which is just really terrible and has no redeeming qualities, Mapletron is so brutal that I love it.
Can we just never speak about my quarterback?
Justin Pervert?
Well, I mean, we're going to have to because they played my team this week when we recap.
Yeah, but I
either
just
my
mean in
sad sack
any
team or
you
your
can
sad sack
okay.
team.
Listen, you can talk about Justin Herbert for the rest of your life.
Justin Pervert. He cut his hair. Did you
Justin
see him?
Pervert, whatever you want. I
Herbert the
missed it.
Pervert.
You can talk about Justin. Be a friend. Only in a micro setting are you allowed to talk about Justin Herbert.
So in other words, I
this
can't be free to express my true opinions on things. I
Yes.
have to couch and caveat.
In this, I beg of you for the long-term health of me and my family and my children. Like, let's just put it all out there. Everyone's life might depend on you just not talking about the subject outside of a micro sense of 4 quarters in a 3-hour Sunday setting.
You know what I thought would have been a really good show now that it occurred to me? That if we just did like a Sunday evening, Monday morning show, along with the pick show. Because I've always struggled with the Monday show every year. Just the 3 of us talking about the games. Could have worked out well. It was fun. Jets, Tim. You were pumped they weren't going to go 0-16 for about 2 minutes.
Well, the game started the right way for us. You know, if you're an 0-11 team, you only win when things start breaking your way all over the place because you're not good enough to win otherwise. And we started getting those breaks. I am convinced that if it hadn't been for that pick 6, I think we probably would have won the game. That completely turned everything inside out and upside down. And if it had been any other team against the Chargers down by that, the Chargers were, again, attempting to give away a game. We're just so bad that even we can't take advantage of that. Any other team other than maybe Jacksonville comes back from that and probably wins by 10. Because, again, the Chargers are doing what they do. They were gagging. They're very poorly coached. They make very poor decisions. We're trying to give that game. We almost got it back. But we didn't because we're really terrible, and Joe Flacco is terrible and cost us again. But Mims looked really good.
I mean, we
Mims is a
fumbled at the
star.
1
Jeff
yard
will
line
have
too,
to admit
right?
that much.
So
You'll have to
Melvin
agree
Gordon.
with me now.
Yeah,
Mims looked really good.
Mims looked good. Listen, looking good against our secondary right now in the second half of a game isn't worth anything. Casey Hayward's now playing for a job. That is a guy that could be cut at the rate I am watching.
Who would have thought that?
He's getting now. The weird thing is he's seemingly not like he's getting beat like that guy everyone made fun of in Minnesota. That's now in Indy.
Xavier Howard?
Yeah,
No,
it's Rhodes. Like he's always in the right position. Hayward. It's not like he's getting beat, but he can't make a play on a ball for his life right now, which is creepy as shit. But
Your secondary's bad. My secondary.
well, yours is really bad. But yeah, I don't know. That was embarrassing in a lot of ways, and it was almost the perfect day. We didn't lose to the Jets. Herbert looked freaking amazing. And Lynn still looks like a doofus. Like beating the Jets,
Bosa
not like
played
he would have.
And Bosa played very poorly. That was one of the worst performances I've ever seen from him.
Yeah, he didn't play well, and I was
He
actually
started against Becton. Becton owned him so bad that he had to switch sides. Then he did switch sides, and his only contribution to the game was a 15-yard roughing the passer call.
That's not true. He's in on about like 9 plays in your backfield, but you could live it however you want.
Tim's going to live his truth on this one.
I
Becton
thought
is
he was
good.
really
Becton is
underwhelming.
Becton is good. And to be perfectly honest, I thought that roughing the passer card was bullshit. I like that rule. I respect that rule. But if you watch that play, Bosa's doing everything he can to not do that. He's losing his balance, and he goes into
it's not
like
his
the
fault.
and he goes into
It's not
like
his
the
fault he's
penis.
uncoordinated. Yeah, it's not his fault he's uncoordinated.
Bro, you might have lost by 6 points, but you're
8.
real behind.
Oh, no, 6 because we gave up the safe. You guys
You're
gave
real
us the free safety.
behind.
Sorry.
You're real behind.
Yeah, I agree. We got
You're
problems.
real behind.
We're 0-10. You don't think we got problems?
Well, you think
got real problems.
You think you're close. We're just idiots for letting you in. That should have been like a 25-point victory. You didn't do anything. Mims is a nice player. You got some nice receivers, but teams won't let you do that over the top. We suck.
Yeah, we also don't have a quarterback. We're playing Joe Flacco out there, for heaven's sakes.
Well, here's the thing. Tua, who got benched, gets to start again this week in an ultimate get-right game, because guess who they play? The Jets.
It better be a get-right game.
If Mr. Tua does not literally, if he brings his butter knife to this one, we're going to have problems. Like if we
can't play
can't
anymore.
by me saying like if I don't see air cut because the Jets, you can cut air on these guys. The secondary is horrible. I saw a stat today that was like everybody in the secondary when Herbert targeted them, like his stats versus each individual member of the pass coverage unit. I'm not here to say like Herbert, like anything that happens versus the Jets, like makes me think differently about Herbert. Is more like some of the specific plays, like sideways, air cutting, moving sideways, like airborne air cuts. Whew.
Put me out there at nickelback. I wouldn't be any worse than what we're rolling out there right now.
You might have a heart attack, so that wouldn't be good. That'd be a liability.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Tua still double the amount of wins of Herbert so far.
And you know what? I thought you were going to come in here and say, one, he wasn't on the field for the last drive. I don't even think he should.
Undefeated. You're correct.
I don't even think he should get the loss.
I agree.
I mean, we give him the win for the game he played 2 snaps in.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give him that.
You're right. You can't do that. You're right.
So based on that rule, he does not get the loss.
But he still has double the wins.
Yes, double the wins.
It's impressive.
We'll see how he does this week. He better show up this week or it fits his team the rest of the way. Put it that way.
I don't know if they can go. You put yourself in such
you have to. You can win you make the playoffs. You can't if he plays terribly.
I could. I'm not so mean, but I could break effing hearts. I could break hearts. But I don't want to be that mean.
You don't want to be that mean because you're relishing in a 3-13 season, and once it gets ratcheted up next year, maybe Herbert's not so good. Then you'd have to live with those consequences.
You're right.
I see what you're doing.
No, I don't want to. Lots of things can happen next season. Lots of things can happen. Could turn into somebody else, or maybe they get a coach. Maybe he just makes a natural year 2 development. Maybe he gets his running back. Maybe they add more draft capital, and we have roster flexibility to do whatever we want. So maybe a couple of those check marks make it into a better situation.
You get that one, or Baker Mayfield broke every rookie passing record 2 years ago.
Yes! If I'm posing on a convertible with a goddamn tiger, kill me.
Well, they don't want to have Justin Pervert in commercials. Perving people out, creeping them out.
Whatever. We had to change the vibe. He took it amongst himself to change the vibe. And guess what, guys? All like 450 of you don't have to send me the picture. That's not why my DMs are open.
You've seen them? You've seen the picture?
No, man, I missed the picture. Like, it's one thing, like, maybe if you're instant, like, in the moment, holy shit, this just happened, and you want to hit me up with it, I will, like, respect it. But once you hit, like, a clock that shows, like, wow, that's been in the atmosphere for, like, 15 minutes, trust me, the carrier pigeons have delivered.
I like when it's, like, the day after.
Oh, those are the best.
Did you see this? Like, yeah, man. Years ago.
Those are the best. Did you hear Tigers playing?
Or when someone like tags you in a Schefter tweet. Did you see this? Like, yeah, man. Everyone fucking follows Adam Schefter. We've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody retweets Adam Schefter. I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's bad. That is bad. But what that
Everyone
says,
follows him.
Did you see it?
I saw it.
Okay.
What that says to me, listen, I got to put a positive spin on this as a lettuce guy. It says one thing. Well, for starters, it grows back. It's hair. We're going to get that shit.
You can ask my friend Tim Butts whether it grows back or not.
He
got a haircut once at 21 years old and it never came back.
Sorry, Tim. I'm assuming it grows back. It's beautiful. It just shows that he doesn't care. Like, he's willing to step into the world like that with so little care that football is such a life, like, ultimate focus. We don't have time for brands that don't want us. Like Baker.
What?
Like Pat saying, like, no one's going to offer Herbert a photo shoot. I'm saying you're right. Maybe. We don't want them. I just hope he's getting his pipes cleaned, like, in private. Like, I don't need him backed up.
Oh, my God.
That's all. He can look over, like, I don't need him to be this shows a guy that's so dedicated to football, he doesn't even want to leave the facility to get a haircut. He lets,
he can't. I don't think you can in California.
He let the, like, strength and conditioning army bot guy, like, cut his hair.
Well, yeah, unless you're the governor of California, you can't be going indoors places and eating places.
And I'd be going to the Buffalo.
Yeah, you'd be going to this
I
game.
would be seeing it through that thick Western New York air cutters.
Like from the smoke from the tables that they would be diving through face first.
Yeah, and trust me, I'm at the point in my life, Pat, I don't think I would like be out there with the commoners either. I think I'd have to be like upstairs and warm.
Oh, Geoff too rich.
I don't know.
Not good enough to be amongst the people like Tim and I when we went to the Ralph.
No, I love
Yeah.
the Ralph, and I'll go hours early to enjoy that part. But I've done too many rounds in those bowls below. Like I don't need. I'm too old for the for the verbal back and forth.
I like to have my ear to the ground and watch people funnel creme liqueur, and
Smoke cigs in their seats.
Yeah, if you're gonna go there
It's real cold. We don't want to go outside.
If you're gonna be in your Jets jersey, you don't. I'm a Chargers fan.
One of my favorite stories about a Bills game is I knew somebody
Call
who
my
went to a
wife
Bills
a
game
whore.
and got there early and got to the seat on time, and some guy came in like as the first quarter was beginning, missed the anthem, and wanted to know who in the area didn't stand for the anthem. Couldn't be bothered to get to a seat on time for the anthem, but wanted to know who dared not stand for the anthem.
Listen, it is Americana in its own special way, that place. But I'm just too old to be verbally harassed.
No one would harass you for a Chargers jersey. You're not wearing a Jets
Paul.
jersey.
No,
I've
been there. No. See, that's
Paul's
the thing.
been there the most. Let's get Paul's take.
I've been to.
I can assure you, anybody with a opponent's jersey on gets heckled. I had a friend one time. This old 70-year-old woman was at the end of our aisle. He's wearing a Dolphins jersey. She punches him in the dick as he walks by, and he's just like, "Hey, what was that all about?" And then her Vinny and Ronnie, her sons, who are 40-year-old Buffalo strong kind of boys. They wanted to fight him. Why are you talking to our grandmother? Geoff's right. You don't.
Okay, but I want to underscore.
No. Hold on.
You said
This is
Dolphins.
not
Yes.
MetLife.
I've been
said
to enough
Dolphins.
games. I've been to at least 6 times there, Tim.
Anybody,
Here's the
man.
thing. I
The
understand.
intensity
Yes.
differ between teams.
I agree.
Sure.
That's part of the reason why I'm so taken aback by it. Who the fuck are the Chargers? You're the Bills fan. I get it. Dolphin fan, Jet fan, Patriot fan, their turn. So I'm always used to think, the Chargers, how much could this really be? They do not give a shit. I'm 10 years old in a Seau jersey getting harassed. My uncle's worried about me. He's taken me. My dad wants no part of the Ralph Wilson experience. He's way too, for lack of a better way of putting it, above.
Geoff dad too rich.
Sure. He's that's the
He's
last
a regular.
thing on
He's a real Tim.
earth he would care
he would
to
like
do.
to have. He would like to have the booth like you, Geoff, inside. where
But
it's-
I've even been 4th row behind the Charger bench, and my wife's getting called a whore, and in a Rodney Harrison Chargers jersey. And this is she's obviously wearing an old piece from my collection, but this is you would think okay, we're in the lower bowl, the good
It's
seats.
just so mean because Rodney Harrison was such a clean player. It's so
Yeah,
mean.
well, I'm just saying, we're in the seats where okay, they cost a little more money. Maybe you're not going to take it here. Does not matter. You take it. The only thing I thought about is wearing the military gear.
Oh, you think that would get you? That's a get out of jail free card for
Here's
you?
just a
Your
guy
camo San Diego
supporting the
gear?
troops.
I'm going
and
to wrap
supporting
myself in
his
camo
team.
so that some drunk Buffalo Bill fan doesn't harangue me.
Yeah,
for
we're
wearing a
we
Chargers
can be
jersey.
united in supporting troops. That's
Yeah, but you probably have to check in to see whether or not you stood for the anthem or not.
He'd
Any-
probably wait till his coffee got cold before dumping it on you then, rather than just scalding you with it.
I was going to say, that's what we saw when we were there, people throwing hot coffee at one another in the
Anyway,
stands.
I am thrilled.
People
I'm
from
sorry.
Buffalo screaming at people from Detroit, which was the game we saw, accusing people from Detroit of not having jobs. What is going on here? And both teams were 0-8, 1-7. It was the game I saw the greatest athlete I'll ever see live in my life, Calvin Johnson, in person. And it was a terrible game. And the people in an 0-8 and 1-7 game where there's no stakes in interconference were just calling each other the worst names. It was vicious. And I was like, my goodness me. You go across the lake 20 minutes to Fort Erie, people don't act like that.
I listen, I was at a game with a buddy and he was told to leave by security. He told them he's not leaving. And
Was he dragged?
do you want to guess if he left or not?
I bet did he go out screaming and yelling? Or did they just leave him? They respected him saying no.
They took him to the ground. His head like bonked the floor. He had like a baseball size fucking thing. He spent the day in the Ralph Wilson holding cell.
Oh God!
And
what had he done?
He just not much. But when they say it's time to leave,
It's time to leave.
You literally don't have a choice anymore. Your only recourse is maybe just leaving and trying to buy a cheap ticket outside and figuring how on earth is like X secure. Like, we're one of a million today.
That's how one of my friend's dads constantly gets back into the game. He gets kicked out for being too drunk, gets a ticket outside, gets back in a different entrance.
Gets back in. Like they're not walking. I mean, now I guess in the digital age, they might.
Yeah, they might be.
Could like have pictures on file now, but
Paul?
Just for Tim, you have an opportunity here. You don't want Bills Mafia unleashed on you. All they got the division locked up type of stuff. You've dealt with the Broncos. You've dealt with the Raiders fans. You can just get off the tracks right now. We don't.
Well,
you don't want this
Paul,
happening
that
to
the
you.
NFL playoff machine came online just this weekend, and I got to play around with it. And I played with it, did my honest picks. I had Buffalo running the table. Pittsburgh's only loss is to Buffalo.
Pittsburgh is...
That game's in Buffalo on a Sunday night. I think Buffalo should be, if they're not favored, close to favored, and I think they win the game.
If there's one
beat them last time.
You called our quarterback a fraud, like as of 2 weeks ago. Now we're running the table out of the bye.
Soft schedule.
Oh God.
Well, hey, nothing has really worked. If the very underrated curse of the year so far is the Steelers, who Tim said would be in contention for the #1 pick, along with Seattle, and both of them are in first place. And the bias against the Steelers, Tim wanting the Steelers to be really bad for reasons unknown. But Tim, Bills primetime at home, has that ever worked out well for Buffalo?
Well, I mean, it worked well for them last year.
Have they ever won one?
No, they were sad and scary. I think
they lose them in the worst conceivable ways.
Yeah, like a Chargers game.
Like what was that guy? Leotis McKelvin, kick return fumble when they were finally going to beat the Patriots? That weird Nick Folk game against Dallas. He missed the first one, but they iced him, and then he made one from 60 yards.
I was at a Brady Quinn Browns one, too. In Buffalo.
Yeah, they played some wild games against the Browns.
6-3?
It was there
was a Bills-Browns game that was 6-3.
I'm real sad. I don't like this virus. I can't. There's no game. I would be going to the game.
Well, it sounds like the virus, by and large, has impacted you more than anyone.
No, it hasn't. I just would like to see firsthand what this would have been about. And then, listen, we could have been down 10 points in the fourth in a tough Western New York environment, and we could have benched our quarterback.
And he wouldn't get the loss.
We could have just benched him. Could have said, "What's the point of letting a rookie go through a tough Sean McDermott defense on the road?"
We're down 13-10 in the in a game that on the road that we need to win. Let's bench our star QB.
Everything for wild card weekend. Let's get to wild card weekend.
Yeah, let's just give him some time off. Let's not let him play through the difficulties down 3 points.
Let's
just bench him for a 45-year-old. That's real confidence in a quarterback.
You do have to realize that there is a distinct possibility in the game this week.
He's going to run
Herbert gets benched because Anthony Lynn's like a real team guy. Like, Tyrod, you used to play in Buffalo. We'll start you. That's like
he heard about the lawsuit.
That's like a 2% chance of happening.
Remember my earlier year? Herbert will be too good. We got to give a couple games to Tyrod for the lawsuit. This would be a good bone. I didn't even know that Tua got pulled. I guess sometimes in the technological world, I can find myself 5 minutes behind, a little behind. So I'm behind, and the phone is in the garbage if I'm behind in the Charger game. And then I'm in real time. I see Melvin fumbles at the 1.
I bet you people told you about that one.
Oh yeah, I like those carrier pigeons. And then I'm like, oh my God, I just know it's 2013. I'm like, Melvin fumbles, and it's gonna set up a 99-yard Tua come from behind victory, and I'm gonna have nothing. It's over. And then I see that it's not Tua, and then I have to just spend after the Charger, yeah.
You had to release your official statement on Twitter about Tua. I enjoyed that.
Did you buy more Herbert cards?
No.
But you know what you did do?
I tried.
Why don't you tell the people what you did on the weekend?
Oh, see, I wasn't going to bring this up. I thought this was in confidence.
Why don't you tell the people what you did this weekend?
I tried to buy into a break.
What does that mean,
unsuccessfully.
try to? Did you buy into it or not?
I showed you the picture. I didn't win the auction. This brake
Oh, I thought
pad-
that was for a card. I thought it was for something different.
No, it went for like $350 to get into like a case of Flawless. I don't even know how good that brand is. I just wanted in on a break.
When we started this and you started collecting football cards, what did we tell you? Where was this going to go? Now, I got nothing to do on Friday night.
Yeah.
I'm entering this eBay auction to get into a card break.
I didn't win the break and I didn't want to pay. Like once my bid was passed, I wasn't like getting into a war. And now, listen, what's happening in the market?
This is just like when you told our friend not to get one tattoo because he would get 12.
Oh,
And he has 17 now. And they're ridiculous.
No, this only like is a bad thing if I'm like looking for Justin Fields rookies or something next year.
You might be.
No,
Or
I'm not.
whoever the defensive end that the Chargers take at
No,
7.
no. Those are worthless.
I
cards.
almost got Paul to go to Tim Hortons to get you some hockey cards. They're on right now, too.
No, I don't want that.
We could open them on the show, and I wouldn't know who anyone
Zero
was.
interest. Zero
Oh,
interest.
Pavel Bure.
Oh, and if it was Pavel, my guy,
And I need
that would be a lot different.
You need to know. Not only would I
The
not,
Russian rocket, Geoff.
the only brakes pad I will buy for, there are brakes that do a randomly assigned teams, no chance. Randomly assigned divisions, no chance. Must be Herbert specific. And like even the Chargers, I'd be annoyed because I don't want someone sending me I got some Joshua Kelly rookies. Like
Tim would take them.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't mind. That
You
guy's
know-
got vision and he doesn't get an opportunity.
Poor guy couldn't even play over fucking Troy Maine Pope.
did you see
The young Pope, Tim.
He's really effed because you saw your punt block, that Sadaka we give every week. Google Sadaka.
Yep.
It's just that was all Josh Kelly.
Yeah, it was disconcerting. Why don't you get into some Tua breaks just so the Dolphin fans can't ever have the cards that you win?
They're probably cheaper right now, too. A 1 week swing.
I'm sure the
Well,
market,
just like he's basically like Jeremy Lin, the hot new deal in sports for like 2.5 weeks, and then he just goes away. And people remember 10
Except
years
it was
ago.
like
Oh,
3
remember when this guy
years.
was like the talk of the league when he was like
Tua
a
was the
comment-
talk from the moment of that Georgia overtime. Like I'll admit,
No, then he went away, and then he got drafted, and no one talked about him this offseason. No one was talking about Tua up this offseason.
No, well, I mean,
No.
just remember, Geoff, the only thing
No
people
one was.
talked about in the offseason was the New York Jets, according to...
No, Tua was not the hot. No one thought Tua was going to start, and he didn't start week 1. Like he was not he wasn't the favorite to win.
But he was
Rookie
a
of the
story
year,
of
any
the-
that nonsense.
I don't want to like burst your bubble, but you watch.
Burrow
a lot,
was a much
you
bigger
wa-
story
Of
than
course, he was starting. He was first overall. But hear me out, and this is where you're so wrong. And this doesn't mean Tua's good, but this just means you're wrong.
Well, no, nothing could. He'd have to actually be good.
He's undefeated, 4-0.
And he gets benched in a tight spot. He's real talented.
You watch
Yes,
a lot of
Definitely not Tim Tebow.
He has infinitely more wins. than
you
the
watch
Jets
a
do
lot
this
of
year.
football, and I'm certain you watch it on like cable.
He flicks around.
Yes.
No, but even the prime times, and he probably watches commercials.
Well, no, he has to watch the primetime game and flip over to the Good Doctor.
So that NFL Shop commercial, which I could do a breakdown of if you want, like
I hate
Oh,
it.
I
You mean
would
like
do
the-
that.
the two-
We should do that. That should be a Christmas thing that we do. We break
oh,
down that
okay,
commercial.
so I don't want to get into too in depth.
It,
not
it
too
won't
in-depth.
make me angrier than the year that kid pretended to be a
But
Jets fan. and
before
had
Tua was
OB.
on before Tua was on the field, like a centerpiece of that commercial was that very, I don't know, like that guy in Miami sitting on a car wearing like a Dolphins toque and a Tua jersey. Like he was a centerpiece of like a league campaign. So yes, I agree. It wasn't like a on the field storyline. Tua was a storyline in the NFL.
He's just a big deal.
Yeah, this
people know who he is. His name is Tua.
off season.
They can't pronounce his last name. Just call him Tua. He's like Pele.
So I kind of disagree with you on that, but I'm happy to break down. There are some things that are so easy. They just like make it too easy.
Well, here's the thing.
That commercial.
Yeah, well, we'll break that down. We didn't even do the intros yet. Paul is behind the camera. The coin is in studio. And on the line, if you haven't noticed yet, is Tim Undercust.
Tim Andergust.
That's not my name. That has got to be the latest introduction you have ever done.
Yeah, we just kind of I actually had planned on getting into the games and then doing all this stuff, but here we are.
I think we're 40 minutes in.
We're
Haven't
34
covered-
minutes into the show.
Well, this is what happens when you guys don't show up for show practice.
This is an extra show this week. If people know to use the time codes, they want to. Do you think people are really thinking about the analysis of the games? I mean, they should have.
No,
with me.
I've also never heard a person complain about how long it is.
That's
Not a
true.
soul has ever said to me, "Why are you guys not only an hour? I only want to listen for an hour." Like no one has ever said that.
So, I actually had Miami as my super lock last week. The only game that I lost on betting wise on Sunday. I had an awesome week. I was 10-2-1. We haven't done the Monday night game yet, so don't make mention of that. You can go back and watch last week's show to see who we picked.
I bet you Tim mentions it in this show.
Oh, of course. 10-2-1. I'm up to 84-73. It's my best week in a while. Hopefully I can cash it out with the Monday night win. Geoff, 8-4-1. We had exactly the same first 8 games. And then you took the Chargers instead of the Jets. I think Tim took Kansas City. You took Minnesota, not Dallas.
Yeah. You're so lucky to get that push with the Packers, though.
They should have won that game.
The Colts should have won that game easily. The Colts are such a better team than Green Bay. Like again, that line ended up being a push. Green Bay should have been a 4 or 5 point dog. I knew that was that
Green
line.
Bay also
off,
should have,
and it was
if
off
they
all
had
week.
just decided to show up in the second half, they would have won by like 20.
But they don't. That's who Green Bay
I
is.
can't wait to talk about tomorrow that some people thought Jacoby Brissett would make this team better. But I'll save that for tomorrow.
I stand by that.
I actually think he still might make it better.
I stand by
You
that.
think this team be
100%.
7-3?
Probably.
You're out of your mind.
with this team, with this defense.
Yeah, it's a defense that's winning games.
I understand that, but sure, pal.
I mean, if you get a bonus points for
Tomorrow.
looking like you're shot putting it, but not doing it very good. Basically, Tim says he can throw a javelin 100 yards, which is just insane.
No, I never said 100 yards. I said I think I could throw it 30 meters.
You couldn't throw it 30 meters. So 30 meters is what, 40 yards?
Yeah,
You
I think
can't
that's
throw a
about right.
fucking baseball 40 yards.
Well, that's not true.
You can't.
It's not true.
When you can
keep
say it's
saying
not
that.
true. I've seen you throw a baseball.
You should be able to throw a baseball 40
You should
yards.
be able to, yes.
I can throw it 90 feet, which is for what it is from first to second or second to third.
Tim, you play slow pitch softball. Those are 60 feet apart.
Or whatever the distance is. I can throw those.
Yeah, whatever the distance is. Yes, so something significantly shorter.
I mean, that's what the distance is from home plate to the mound, 60 feet, 6 inches.
Not what you play. What was the last time you were on a fucking real baseball field?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
It's like 25 feet away in slow pitch.
Stop the torture and tell me how terrible my record was.
You were 3-9-1 against the spread.
Oh,
The coin was 7-5-1. I got dragged down by Tim too. I got too hyped up on Tua in Miami, so I'm 4-6 super lock. Tim is now 2-9 in the super lock, and Geoff is 8-3 because Tim didn't tail your pick this week.
That's right.
Cust, after bragging about how easy it was to coast to an undefeated season in Survivor, is out of Survivor.
said nothing of the sort. I said nothing of the sort. As someone who's actually done it, I know how hard it can be.
You were
And this is
gloating
the
about it
hardest I've
last
been
week,
since.
and we had to tell you we just got past the halfway point of the season.
Well, significantly more. I was through 10 games. This was week 11.
You
So
were through 10 weeks of 17.
yeah, so that's well past 50%. Anyway, got screwed. These are the types of bombs you have to not step on to get to a perfect season, and I dodged one earlier in the year. This week it got me. So congratulations to the Cowboys. They earned that game. I'm a fool.
Additionally, Minnesota was the last part, or was one of the parts of the for sure safe free money teaser that Tim played.
The reason
last
I lost
week.
it.
And that's the reason that he lost. Minnesota. I'm shocked you put so much confidence in Kirk Cousins.
He finally won a Monday Night Football game. I thought certainly he was on the royal road there. I was wrong.
What a horrible final drive for the Vikings.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, they are not very good.
They got like a 5-yard
people were
swing
talking about how they
pass.
could be a playoff team. Like, I should have known better.
Every
They don't
time
have the talent.
that they go, like Kirk Cousins throws a really nice deep ball. They just go. It's like the Aaron Rodgers at the end of the game when he got the ball on like the 1 yard line. The moment he dropped back to just chuck it up 50 yards downfield, doesn't it feel like they're always complete with him?
Yeah, or I don't know.
Like
Dare
that
I
should
say
that should
like
just be their only play.
the Joe Flacco?
Yeah, just chuck
Just
it.
fucking go. We got receivers. Like
Either
let's
they
just
catch it
go.
or it's pass interference. We're good to go.
Yeah, but you can't do that 80 times.
Well,
a game.
you say that. No one's ever tried it.
There's a reason that coaches who get paid a lot of money don't do that. They
So
know
the
it doesn't
second they bring guys, drop them all back.
They don't even do that in the Big 12, and all they do is pass in the Big 12.
No, I'm joking. But anyway.
Do you have your shirt with you? I got the big Masters order.
Oh,
I got it in.
I brought it to the doors.
Oh, you put it
And
over there.
and unboxing like any other.
Show off your Masters gear. I got my Masters long sleeve tee on.
I really like what I selected.
Yeah, Tim's is in the mail. Shout out to a friend.
Like I'm a clean, it's just a very clean look, like the classic.
That's a very nice one. That's actually a very nice one, Jeff.
To me, like there's really only.
I went with the green.
I make my own rules, but to me, the only acceptable colors are like green and white, in my opinion. Like for a polo.
You know what? I actually got I got like a purple one and a red one.
Yeah, I see. They're really nice, but I mean, like I can't get purple until I have a green or a white one. Do you know what I mean? Then it's like
I know where you're coming from. I just like what's good on
you're
me.
far more color.
I went with the classic green color, like Pat's t-shirt. That's the golf color.
I need to have the classic one, and then if I'm lucky enough, or someone hits me up or is on the grounds maybe next year, then I feel like I can diversify. But until I have classic, I can't like do anything else.
Well, I found that once I did the order, and folks, maybe at next year's Masters show might be some giveaways. May I ordered some extra stuff. Who knows? So pay attention.
Can I have it all?
Keep that up. Keep that up. Keep that up. The stuff that's pure black looks super sharp.
Oh, I
bet the black looks
The black looks awesome. But I did, because Jeff, you've been on 8-3. I've been actually like secretly tailing your super locks.
Okay.
And you're such a good man. I got you something with that.
Awesome. What's going on here?
It wasn't as high crown as I could find, but it was the
is.
biggest crown I could find to go with your white.
Yeah.
Oh, how sharp.
Yeah, always a good high crown. Like when you got hair like me.
That was
and I
the
can get
highest
it-
crown. I tried to find the super high crown. They didn't have any.
Yeah, no.
That is very, very
If you've
sharp.
got a
Put it on, Jeff.
beautiful head of hair, no, I want to just
No,
keep
he
it
just
white.
wants you to take off your toque because he was all upset about it.
No, I don't want to take off my toque. But if you got good hair, like remember when Snedeker had that hair and would rock the high crown? I need to see
Phil
more,
used to wear
more
one.
of that. There's only, you know who wears the, like, there might be one golfer on tour still rocking the high crown. It's not a good look.
Who is it?
Well, actually, Poulter sometimes wears it for like the fat cell burning.
Yeah, he
ad
spikes the
does.
hair out of it.
But and this is coincidence. It's like Bo Hostler.
Oh boy, your pal, Bo. I enjoy a nice visor. I don't wear hats like I mentioned because I'm not
The
bald.
best hat on course is Charles Schwartzel's.
So you got those. I got you something else too.
Oh, where's this going?
I know you like to wear hoodies on
yes.
the course.
Oh, you know, thank you very much. And I got to tell you, you sent me some of the pictures. I'm like, I don't see any hoodies here. But fuck right. Oh, this is all me. You really know me well.
I do. I feel like I've gotten to know you pretty well over
Yeah.
the past 7 years.
I'm easy. Oh,
You can just be rocking your Masters hoodie. You can play golf in that too, I hear.
I could. I would.
But not at Augusta National. They would probably ask you to leave.
I actually got I don't have like a spring or fall jacket anymore. Mine's like ruined. So I got like a
Oh,
new,
is that the taupe colored one I saw there in the box?
Yes, I got a Masters jacket. It's great.
That looks very sharp.
I'm
I
broke now, by the
imagine people, yeah. No, but that's the thing. Like I hear stories like people go and they don't just spend hundreds. People get into that place and they spend thousands.
Yeah,
because it's like
it racks up pretty quickly.
anyone you give a shit about, you're like might ask you for something. You're like, no, this is like the perfect.
I got my dad's
Yeah.
stuff. I got my father-in-law stuff.
Because-
I had one shot at it.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
And it's impossible to get. If you go on the internet to try to get it, 98% of it is counterfeit.
And like the stuff that I got for us, I had to go get tailored after we got it because they were the only pieces available.
Like a
Not
lot
this
of it,
stuff, the stuff we had before.
a lot of it is like counterfeit, like Masters Superstore online. That is not real merchandise.
You got to
That
get
is-
off eBay.
That is fake merchandise. Yes, there's the stuff on eBay, but there's no like year-round masters.com store. It's pretty much just like on the grounds or bust. And they have such a great practice there that I've heard from people, Pat. You go in there, you spend your thousands, and you don't even have to walk out with it. They'll just ship it right to you. Because you don't want to ruin your Masters experience by like
lugging shit around. Yeah.
plug in your like this shirt you had to buy for your father-in-law.
I like my father-in-law, so we're good.
I've never met mine,
I-
so we're fine.
Okay.
Whole other story there. Don't cut that clip.
Okay, yeah, we'll leave that one. The Listeners League link is in the description of
Happy
the video.
Thanksgiving.
FTNbets.com if you want to get in some props and everything like that. The Geoff Fienberg Show.
Met him actually one time when my wife's brother had a baby.
Okay.
Because the brother and him still have a relationship. But
All right.
we're already too inside Fienberg here.
So should we get to the games 44 minutes into the show?
Oh, I don't know. I liked where this conversation was going.
I mean,
Let's just pursue that for a while.
How do you really feel, Geoff?
How do I feel?
Yeah, let's get a couch.
I don't know.
story,
It's like
laid
pretty
back.
good to have to date a girl, not like meet her father. So I've never had an issue. And her grandfather is very like senior in like many ways, both in like age and like like he's almost like that person.
He is the
anyway.
patriarch of the family.
At least like, yeah, he's sort of,
He's the Ed O'Neill in Modern Family,
yeah, I guess
or
so.
the George Sinor of the family.
George Senior. Love that guy. Wow. Okay. Stop bringing me back into this thing. Let's go.
Houston at Detroit. Lions are 3-point dogs at home. 51 is the over-under. Houston made quick work of the Patriots, although the Patriots had a chance to come back despite playing terrible the entire game. Who would have thunk? No Kenny Stills, it looks like. No Randall Cobb on the Houston side. Stafford's dealing with this thumb. We don't know about DeAndre Swift. We don't know about Kenny Galladay. And we don't know about Danny Amendola yet. They could all play. They could all not play. Stafford looks like he's probably going to play. But they're just coming out getting shut out by the Panthers. The Panthers do not have a good defense. Not a good look.
Oh, they certainly do not. If you were going to list 1 to 32, the likeliest teams to record a shutout in the NFL last week, Carolina would have been 31st or 32nd.
You're a big Lions guy, right?
Yeah, I love the Lions.
So
last
does
week.
Matt
They
Rule
played
get
terribly.
any love from you?
I was certainly less pleased going into the game yesterday morning, knowing that Galladay wasn't going. It's like, oh man, he's
They
the
played with
straw that
PJ
stirs that
Walker,
drink.
bud.
Walker played well from the bit of that I saw that game. I mean,
So
Carolina
backup
just
quarterback in a shutout. You're still
Well,
not going to give Matt Rule any credit?
In fairness, he would have won XFL MVP had the season finished. And we do know that 100% of XFL MVPs go on to have pretty good NFL careers. Tommy Maddox.
That's right.
I was wondering where
That's a
this
very
is
fair
going,
point.
and that is very true.
I had a Tommy Maddox jersey when I was a kid.
I mean,
Tommy
somehow-
Maddox started opening day when they drafted Roethlisberger.
Sure did. They'd gone to the playoffs with Maddox the year previous.
Because Eli, Phillip, and Ben didn't play.
No, but Maddox had brought them to the playoffs, I believe, the year
Yeah.
before. He was good.
Yeah, that was the year that they lost to Tennessee in that divisional game because the kicker got roughed, and it was a nonsense call to put the Titans in the title game against that Raiders team.
So sorry, there's not a Matt Rule compliment in you?
I mean, I guess his defensive coordinator did a very good job.
Okay.
I guess he picked a good DC. I'll give him that. I guess. I'm not here to talk about the Panthers. I'm here to talk about Detroit and Houston. Somehow, despite the Texans existing for only 20 years, they're playing in their second Thanksgiving game against the Lions already. Now that's even possible. I think I couldn't play a teaser this one, so my Pilgrim parlay, as John Wayne would call it. Come on, Pilgrim, you know who I am. The first leg of it is going to be the Texans money line. That's the way we're going here. Texans are a dome team on the road. Fits my theory, Pilgrim, of good dome teams on the road indoors. So the Texans are the first end of a 3-team money line parlay. Put up your dukes for the Duke.
This actually, Paul, yes, you have a question.
Very dangerous for Tim to be taking these money lines. Like the only reason why he ever has hit these things before is because like both sides of the teaser is hit.
Yeah, but he has unfound confidence somehow because he once hit a Thanksgiving teaser like 4 years ago. That
I was going to mention this, but
he feels like bulletproof on Thanksgiving. Despite the year that he played, it was impossible to lose a teaser, no matter
for
how you
people
played it.
who are new to the show, I have a penchant, you might say, for hitting Thanksgiving teasers on the Thursday and on the Sunday. I've done it more than once. So this
Whoa! You hit it once. ever.
No, but then I also hit the Sunday last year.
Yeah, but
So I do
And
tend
on
to.
Thanksgiving, in our lifetime of doing the show, you're 1-5 on Thanksgiving teasers.
also-
Well, but if you look at my lifetime record, that is significantly better than that. So
That is true. You are 2-9 for the season. You're actually having like your best teaser season in ages. You're 8-76 lifetime.
Yeah. So anyway, I feel very good about this. It's a 3-team money line parlay. Don't get over your skis here.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
just play a 3-team money line parlay. Don't get
play a
over your
3-team money
skis.
line parlay. You can't go wrong. So we're going to take the Texans on this end. I think the Texans win this actually pretty comfortably. I don't think Galladay's playing.
So lay the
And
3.
if he doesn't play, I don't think the Lions have much of a hope. The Texans, 2 weeks ago, they were in a 3-point ball game with the Browns who were going to the playoffs. It was an ugly game in the rain, but they didn't get blown out. I think they played a close game. Then the next week, as underdogs at home, they took care of the Patriots. Watson played fantastically yesterday. The Texans have nothing to lose for because they don't own any draft picks anymore. So they're going to be balling out to the end of the season. And Detroit is moribund now. They're not the worst team, but they're not going anywhere. The coach is definitely done. So yeah, this is the Texans' last big opportunity to impress people, and I think they take care of it. And Detroit, I wish I'd done my research, but I can't remember the last time they won a Thanksgiving game. It has been a while, including last year. They got to a big lead against Chicago and threw it away. So yeah, I think the Texans are the way you play this game.
I like Detroit. I really hope they get. Stafford, expecting him to play. If they get Swift back, I think that might be good enough. So here's a fun fact about Houston: they're not any good. And just because they beat the Patriots, who people think are really good in their minds, doesn't really mean much. So I'm not too concerned about Houston. Like going on the road, Detroit, short week. I'll just take Detroit home dog. Give them to me. I think these teams are very close.
I like Houston because I think Watson is going to put on an absolute show in this game.
He is the DraftKings play of the week.
I mean,
Deshaun Watson.
the Thanksgiving. I mean, granted, this is obviously the Super Bowl for both teams at this point. I think it holds a little more panache for Houston. And they have been really Watson, since O'Brien has been fired, outside of the win game in Cleveland, has been outstanding.
Yep.
He wasn't super outstanding in the second half against the Patriots.
You're
No, but
right,
his
but I'm
first
just
half
talking
was
about his weekly
amazing.
fantasy numbers.
Yeah, the fantasy numbers have been fine.
Yeah. He's been racking them, and they've actually been pretty good in the games that they can win, and this is one of them.
I really do think this hinges on Swift being back. If Swift is back, that's a real problem for the Texans. Because they have
I think Galladay's more important.
in this game, it's not. I mean, it would be great to have them both back. Obviously.
Is Galladay back?
We don't know.
He should.
I think he won't be. That's my hunch.
Yeah, I don't think he won't be either. They can win this without Galladay. Winning it without Swift is going to be tough just because he's so explosive both out of the backfield as a pass catcher and runner. He can lead them on the field and give their offense a bit of a different dimension, which we saw on Sunday against Carolina. When AP was on the field, they were running the ball. I mean, Carrion had 6 carries, but he was primarily used in the passing game. Like, it was very obvious what they were doing. And you can run it down the throats of the Texans if they don't know 100% that it's coming. And with Swift, that's going to be the case. So I actually think that Swift is more important in this game than Kenny Galladay. Paul, what kind of dog is Charlie Dog?
He's a Shih Tzu.
He is a Shih Tzu. Okay.
Why?
Someone wanted to know.
Somebody on the internet?
Someone in my text messages.
Okay.
I'm working on a present for you. I'm like Oprah. I'm just giving stuff away.
What? Are you buying
Giving
me a
stuff
dog?
away these days. All right, so Detroit for me, Houston for you two, Detroit for the coin.
I'm already excited. Those giveaway of Master Swag next April is going to go over very well.
I hope so. I hope I'm allowed to give it away. You think Augusta National will come after me?
No, you're allowed.
Are you sure?
I see people giving shit away all the time.
Washington at Dallas. I feel like we get lucky here.
What does that mean?
The Cowboys are favored by 3, 46.5.
Oh, thank you for
is
yesterday.
the over-under. Thank you for winning on Sunday, Dallas. Thank you very much. Give me Washington.
And Washington.
Yeah, but no one really. I don't think the only thing people know about that game is Joe Burrow got hurt.
Yeah. I'm with you, Pat.
Like, Dallas sucks. Like, that's a thing.
Dallas sucks. You think, I don't know. I like Washington a lot here. This could have been my super lock if we're doing that, but I'm not willing to go.
You can choose to take one of these games as your super lock.
I'm
It
not.
doesn't have. You don't have to pick a super.
I'm not, because we're doing this earlier than normal. But I bet you the books could even do props on like Alex Smith montages in this game.
Everybody loves a montage. Montage.
But I agree with you. I think that Washington moves the ball.
Washington's better.
They're good.
And they have a
move
good
the ball.
defense.
The defense is good. I don't know. I think it was Tim last week. That was
Didn't they beat them like 23-3
And I-
like
I'm not-
3 weeks ago?
I'm not really like, I don't give a shit. I'll make so many wrong picks here. But I remember I kind of went back and forth with Tim last week. Who did Washington the Bengals. That it wasn't like, I have no concern that Washington moves the ball.
It was
Gibson
9-7
and
when Burrow got hurt.
McLaurin.
They were losing 9-7 when Burrow got hurt. They I think they almost certainly would have lost had Burrow played the rest of that game.
A very like narrow-minded view of Washington in the sense that I'm not watching the games very
I
closely.
watch a lot of footballs on Sunday.
The games all their guys seem to eat. So I assume they move the football.
Well, McLaurin has a chance to become the first 1,000-yard receiver this year in this game because he plays first.
Whatever.
He's
He's
like
amazing and
yeah.
he's consistent as hell.
And they run the ball well.
And
Here's the
And
difference.
they got like 3 running backs.
Here's the difference. We even go back to the beginning of the season win total show. I believe you and I took the over on Washington for basically one simple fact.
Ron Rivera.
Ron Rivera's a good coach. He gets these guys. He gets the maximum out of these guys. They're not great. The front seven is great, and that's going to be the biggest problem here. Dallas has no offensive line. All Washington does is get after the passer. That's a real problem.
Yeah.
Minnesota does not get after the passer.
We had a fun conversation early in the show, which we'll continue to
Like
have.
2 hours ago.
Yeah, like Claypool and Jefferson and their ability to maybe catch Herbert and to have. I mean, because there's records happening for all of them. Is Chase Young walking away with defense? Is it Chase Young and the safety in Tampa? Right, Winfield has been outstanding. What defensive rookies have been good? Chargers drafted a linebacker who can't make a fucking play, and Tim's team is the first team in like 2 years to make Denzel Perryman look good.
I don't know. I feel like there's someone we're probably missing.
I agree, but it was all quarterbacks and offensive linemen. And Isaiah Simmons, I don't remember.
I don't even see him on the field.
I don't know what's happening.
He might be playing
there.
100% of the snaps, but you never hear his name come up like making a play ever. And I'm not doing a deep
Is the
dive on
corner
Cardinals
that
defense.
Detroit drafted been good?
No, and he missed like 4 games.
Chase Young looks the part every time he's on the field.
Patrick Queen is the other guy who's in contention.
Ravens,
Well,
right?
He got cleats to the face on
Linebacker for
Sunday.
Baltimore, who had an interception, or even have the interception in that game. He caused the interception against the Titans. Yeah, right now it's Queen as the slight favorite, and then Young as the second favorite.
I would take Chase Young.
Yeah, because he's just
I mean, a 3-sack game makes him like the overwhelming favorite.
yeah.
And
But
that's
I
on
don't
the
think
table for him.
I don't think he's the overwhelming.
But that
favorite.
safety, that Winfield Jr. has been real good too for Tampa.
The most recent odds I can find is plus 125 for Queen, plus 150 for Young, plus 500 for Winfield, Jeremy Chin, and
Chin,
plus 700
Carolina.
for Julian Blackman.
Carolina safety. Blackman is what, like a 4th round pick for the Colts, right?
85th overall he went, so second or third round, I suppose.
The problem with these awards is it's almost like when it comes down to the offensive rookie of the year. Herbert should win if he ends up having the best season. If Claypool ends up with 17 touchdowns on the Steelers, he's probably going to win
And it's also
because he played for a 15-1, 14-2 team and led
and
the league
scored
in touchdowns.
17 touchdowns.
defense
But
is a
it's-
lot harder to quantify though.
But for someone like Winfield to actually win the award, he's going to need like 9.
Yeah, that's what I
picks.
mean. He doesn't have sacks.
Yeah.
Like there's no
With
no
Chase Young, there's something you can point to be like, oh, he had 13 sacks. Like, oh, good.
Even
he
if
wins.
there's a rookie corner out there that's playing well, like if he's not getting interceptions, no one knows about him.
yeah, if he's just locked down, no one cares.
No one really knows what this guy Black on the Colts. What's his name again? See, I don't even know his name.
Julian Blackman. I
forced the
watched a good
fumble
deal of him yesterday
He
against
forced
Green
the
Bay.
fumble, the big fumble
Yeah.
in that game. But yeah, no one knows who he is, and nor should they. I mean, to be fair,
Aikman couldn't even recognize who he was on the play that changed the whole game in overtime. Aikman called him the wrong name,
Aikman gets to vote on these awards.
and he'll be doing this game.
Hey, he will be too. I bet you he'll be rooting for Dallas.
I don't know. I get the sense these days he's actually rooting against the Cowboys more than for them.
this could be a good Zeke game. I don't know. Jumps in the Salvation Army bucket.
Yeah, this
Well, I'll tell you, Pilgrims, we like the Washington football team on this teaser or parlay. Sorry, they got true grit, which is what I like. So we're putting them on there. Plus 125.
I have to ask. Did you write down the jokes beforehand?
No, no, I didn't.
Are you sure? Are you reading this like
No.
off your script in your journal?
No,
This is
I am
my
not.
joke journal, and I'm going to read it right now.
No, I did not do that. It just came to me because I'm naturally funny like that.
You are naturally funny. That I actually will give you. People find you hilarious. Maybe for not
Wait,
the
that's
reasons
not the
you
same
think.
thing. That's not the same thing.
So you're taking
So
Washington plus 3 as well?
This is bad.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious to see. I was talking to Holka earlier today, and he has the in with some of the books, not necessarily DraftKings Sportsbook, but another book. He said that like all of the early money's on Dallas. He saw the
can see
line
that.
open, people hammered Dallas.
Dallas just scored a bunch of points against a team that the public respects in Minnesota.
Paul,
I could see it.
Was it last year that the Cowboys were favorites against the Bills and we laid
Yes.
the
yes,
sack
and we
down?
hammered the
I mean, I
Bills.
feel like every Thanksgiving the Cowboys
Dallas
are a
was favored
favorite.
against
They
Carolina.
don't deserve to be the favorite, and they're
The Chargers
Dallas was
Chargers
favored.
had like a 3 or 4 win year. a couple
we have
years ago.
been
We
really good
pounded
betting
Dallas.
against Dallas on
I
Thanksgiving.
think that's the move.
Dallas was favored against an undefeated Carolina team at home.
This-
It's hard to make Dallas a dog on Thanksgiving.
A punter's face or some special teamer's face got broken in a Dallas Washington Thanksgiving game like 5 or 6 years ago.
Was that like the Colt McCoy game where he
Might
went
have been.
off
Might have been.
and just
They
destroyed
played
Dallas?
2 years ago.
I was
too, when
working
Mark
with
Sanchez
Gabe
had to
and
come in.
Cam at a local place.
Were you guys listening to Break Stuff?
No.
Thursday evening game, which is now littered with the old COVIDs. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Baltimore is now after. All we know as of this recording is that Dobbins and Ingram are out, and Baltimore is not currently practicing. They're doing Zoom practicing, but we don't know of anyone else who's out as of yet. So the Steelers are favored by 4.5. 45 is the over-under. I don't know when because it opened at 3, and then this happened, then it went to 4.5. I don't know if Baltimore took a cent on their action, even before all of this COVID stuff. And this line still reeks to me that I feel like I should have to take Baltimore. I know that's not very
I'm
intuitive.
waiting for Pittsburgh. I don't think Pittsburgh is good enough to be a 16-0 team, so I'm waiting for them to.
Well, you have them
assemble.
losing to the Bills in your
Well, yeah,
playoff
so maybe
generator.
that'll be where it happens that they lose to the Bills. I mean, I think we all agree
Pittsburgh's
that.
got a hard schedule.
I mean, even if you
Pittsburgh's
look
a
at the
good team,
numbers,
though.
Pittsburgh's not the
Yeah.
best. Pittsburgh's not the best, second or third best team in football right now. Like no one thinks they're.
Here, can I say this? The thing with Pittsburgh is there's nothing to talk about. Like, no, but in a good way.
Yeah, they're unremarkable.
I mean,
but good.
they beat the shit out of Jacksonville. They beat the shit out of Cincinnati. They win a close game against Dallas, but no one cares because like Pittsburgh just took them fucking lightly. And I'm saying all this as a compliment to Pittsburgh. As in, it's like we do the shows, we do a podcast for 2.5 hours. There's nothing to like rant and rave about them. Like they're good. We know they're good.
It's back to your
There's
point.
nothing to like really talk about.
It's back to your point that they don't even have an MVP candidate.
That's the other part of it. They're awesome, both sides of the football and special teams. Ben Roethlisberger wouldn't even get a top 5 MVP vote. I'm not even debating whether that's fair or not.
But he would. No,
Yeah.
you're absolutely correct. He would not.
Yeah,
And they might go 16-0.
and the one thing that's happening this year is, I mean, Tomlin, for all like the hate, and it's come from me, that like Tomlin has gotten over the years despite winning a Super Bowl. Last year, like, made us all be like, I might not like this guy, but like, what just happened with that roster and how many wins they pulled off? Like, holy shit.
He falls, Tomlin
And
to
then
me
this-
falls into the Pete Carroll camp of coaching,
Might be at this point.
where he's not, no one thinks like, oh, you know who's a great strategist? Pete Carroll. But he gets the most out of his guys.
Yes.
And Mike Tomlin gets the most out of his guys.
And then this year, I mean, not only is this one doing great things for Tomlin, but while this year has done nothing maybe for Ben in like winning an MVP, and he's probably already a Hall of
He's a
Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, before this year.
Yeah.
But this year is doing something for his like legacy. Because there's like, that guy was like a fat man internet joke 12 months ago for an entire year.
He was Fat Dexter from the very last episode.
And if you want, like, I'm sort of this really inside football guy. I love all the corny stuff he put out, and maybe it was smart of him. You control your own like message. he put out his own like mini 3-part, like 10-minute episode things on like his, like sort of behind the scenes in like his life. Cause he's sort of become this like mockable fat figure. He's sort of like, let us get a look at him. He's just a guy and a dad, and he's not trying to. Yes, Pittsburgh though. I mean, it feels bad to pick on Baltimore. I picked on them last week. The Titans were my super lock, but this team, you don't fear anything, and maybe this is gonna bite me in the ass. But you don't fear Lamar for some reason right now. I don't know if you're scheming it. You don't fear their scheme. Their receivers move slowly. Their motion on offense is slow. For having a guy as electric as Lamar, everything there happens so painfully slow.
That's why I think that the 4.5 is a very interesting number.
It's going to be a AFC North.
Because it's slow. This is a slow game. If this game stays close, Baltimore is one of the slowest teams in football in their play rate. They run the ball a ton. They milk the clock.
There's so many outs with Baltimore +4. They can win outright. And I mean, these
Field
games are
goal game.
1-point game.
And when it comes down to it, like even if it should be a 9-point game or a 6-point game, Tucker's making the field goals to not take them out of it.
You got me.
Still the Boz, right? I mean, Pittsburgh could win by fucking 30 points.
I know.
Like, that could happen.
Do you know what people are doing today, though?
All of the stuff on the periphery with Baltimore. Their defense is banged up. The offense looks not great whatsoever. They're using fucking Des Bryant but all of the other stuff, they still do really well. Because they're what, 6-4 right now, Tim?
Yes.
Yep, they're 6-4.
Feels
and if they
like
lose this week, they're basically dead.
You say that about every team every week.
When you're 6-5 and you have to hop 4 teams, it's just too impossible.
You can win out.
It's
That's
just
what you
impossible.
do. You have to catch fire and win. Some team is going to be like, you know what? We're going on a 5-game winning streak, and you're not going to see it coming. They're not dead. Jesus Christ.
Either 11. Well,
anyway,
they're kind of dead if they lose this game. Like, what would the odds say? They have a 4% chance to make the playoffs if they lose this week? 5% chance?
But you went on a rail last week about how those percentages don't mean anything.
I said in-game win expectancies don't seem to mean much. I'm just saying they're in a world of trouble if they lose this game. No one disputes that. No one debates that.
No, okay.
They're kind of becoming the Niners.
There's a difference between saying they're done for and they're in a worse position.
Well, they're not just in a worse position. They're in a significantly worse position. I mean, you look up and there's just so many horses you have to pass, and you will have just lost 3 games. They're just going to catch lightning in the bottle again, are they? Like, probably not. Like, I don't know.
Well,
you're in a desperate spot.
As we know about the NFL, what happened last week is what you are for the rest of the year.
They're not, but if you do it for 3 or 4 straight weeks, it becomes
it's
very
been,
difficult.
But it's been all
say,
season.
well, they're going to win 5 in a row after this.
It's been this way all season outside of week 1 against Cleveland, and they're still 6-4. Even if they fall to 6-5, they lose to Pittsburgh. I think they could win this game.
This could be like the Patriot game every week. Like, it was like, wow, like this team is really effed. Like, they're losing is a bad way. And that at least that was my analysis. I thought Baltimore would train the Patriots. It's like, whoa. Now, granted, I was on the Titans last week, and you brought up all these periphery things that are noise coming from the outside as it pertains to Baltimore at the moment. There is not more peripheral noise what I'm seeing today from Baltimore than this like weird incident of the fake brawl at the so you probably don't even know what this is about.
Oh yeah, when the Titans decided to camp out at the 50-yard marker.
And they're ex-Ravens now that are furious. So the Titans were like in pregame just like hanging out on the logo, or was this postgame, Tim?
Pregame.
It was pregame. You know, they're hanging out like midfield at the logo, too close to the Ravens side, and you definitely don't camp out on the logo. And it wasn't any players that went to confront the Titans. It was Coach Harbaugh. It was Coach Harbaugh, like alone going to like get these guys off like their side. And then like today, their ex-Ravens being like, your coach can't go do that alone. Like, there's got to be, you guys got to go with them. Like, we used to fear the Ravens. Tennessee, they're not even tough. Their defense sucks. And they're trying to just go bully the Ravens. Like, there's a new day in Baltimore, and this is bad. So to your point, like, it's not like this ridiculous noise.
I mean, ex-Ravens can say that, then they can.
Yes, but I mean, like, even Baltimore Radio, like, we're not tough. We would never take that. Like, the would never take that sort of crap.
Allegedly,
Allegedly, Geoff.
allegedly, and he got off.
Allegedly. So I do think it's getting like a bit ridiculous. Is this like demise of Baltimore?
Maybe,
you're
but they
taking
do seem to be They do seem to be tail spinning a little bit too.
Oh, they
And
do. They
it
don't
would be disingenuous
yeah.
to say anything to the contrary, right?
What if they get the coin toss their favor? Or they just, for whatever reason, their play selection towards the end of that Tennessee game when they could have scored a touchdown to win, and they decided to almost just settle for the field goal to go to overtime, which I did not understand. They ran a very non-aggressive trying to score a touchdown, just the two plays from near the goal line. Let's say they win. Then people aren't like freaked out about them, and this line is like 1.5.
Yeah, I have no idea.
No. Then it's a flat 3.
It was a flat
Pittsburgh's
3.
undefeated.
It was a flat 3 until the COVID news came out.
Yeah, but it could never have been less than that because that would be the book saying we think Baltimore's better, and then they would have gotten.
Hey, listen, they called Baltimore what, a 4-point favorite last time in this game? The books do actually like Baltimore, it seems.
Fair enough. I get it.
Yeah, but that's because people like to back them, and now
But
feel
people
like,
love to back Pittsburgh too.
No, but
People love to back Lamar. They did like to back Lamar. It
there was
feels
a
like it's
thing,
gone
yes.
the other way though.
You are not wrong, Pat. They were that Kansas City game in primetime early in the year. I like Baltimore. That Pittsburgh game you just referenced early in the year. I liked Baltimore. People are
off. That's why I'm jumping on. Jumping on the Baltimore train.
I was smart enough to be off last week. I got my ass handed to them in the Patriot game. Give me Baltimore. Shit. I hate myself.
Tim, you're taking Pittsburgh, I'm guessing.
As I said in The Man Who Shot Liberty Vance, give me the Steelers.
What?
It's a movie.
Give me the Steelers.
So Steelers minus 215, Washington plus like 130, Houston minus 150 is your free money line Thanksgiving parlay.
Yeah. Bet the farm, win 4.5 farms.
Who ruins this for him? It feels like Washington's the most house of cardsy here, right? I like I like Washington to win. But all three of these games feel like coin flips. And for reference, the coin has taken Detroit, Dallas, and Baltimore. They've taken the opposite of the Tim money line. Maybe we
the only one doing worse at picks this year than me is the coin, so I feel really good about that.
Yeah, the coin is 69 and 93. You're 74 and 83. I'm back up to 11 games above 500 now.
It's quite impressive.
Rallying back.
I would like to get to 500, cross 500, and
yeah, but you end up going like 15 and 3 in Super Loss.
Yeah,
so that
matters.
more than makes up for it. That's actually what's important here.
Yeah, of course.
Coins do.
I never.
You know what my biggest bet of the weekend was? Besides TJ Hawkinson over 45 and a half receiving yards.
You got 65.
Yeah, he smashed it. The only bet I lost was Miami minus 3.5. Saints.
Crap game.
The Saints line went down to 3.5, and I fucking hammered it.
Yeah, that was almost my other contention for Super Lot. What was that? That was forgetting the Jameis.
But we also thought that Jameis was playing at that point.
But I didn't bet it when Jameis was
But
there.
also,
after
for
Taysom
me,
Hill got announced.
guess what? It didn't matter who started there. It fit the narrative of good team, quarterback injured, first game with the other guy. And Sean Payton has proven. Sean Payton is.
He's 6-0 with the backup.
He's never lost a game without Drew Brees.
He's about to. But anyway, that's for another day.
Whatever.
Paul?
Who cares?
Bad news for Jeff's
Chargers?
Rookie of the Year bet here.
What?
Adam Thielen going on the COVID-19 list.
Yeah,
so
whatever.
Jefferson's going to get all of
Jefferson, they can't win 5. He's got it's the Claypool scoring touchdowns on a 15-1, 16-0 team that is not the Minnesota Vikings. They are a preeminent franchise.
What if
That
Jefferson
is like
gets,
I think that there is a
2,000
yardage
yards
level that
receiving?
Jefferson could get to, and it might be 1,700, which might be
Agreed,
unattainable.
agreed.
But there is a number he can get to where it's like, whoa.
there's also a number that Herbert gets to where it doesn't matter what records they set. If
Agreed.
he's setting them at a position called quarterback.
It would have to be 5,000 yards or 35 touchdowns?
Listen, last night was the first time, Pat. And I know we played the Jets, but I was happy that we got a pad stats yesterday because when the season's over and we're just looking at a grand
Yeah.
total, no one cares. Like, we're not breaking down the game log. The season totals are quite impressive where he is with the other guys who we know are great, and he's played a game last. So.
Are you concerned, as I would be, that he seems very reliant on Keenan Allen?
Yeah, what happens in a game where it's
He
like,
doesn't trust
like you have
other receivers. That's problematic.
I guess
I think a little bit.
I guess the Dolphins
warning
game would be
sign.
Parham. Yeah, Parham's out there.
See,
so.
I don't know.
But
You say that, but I see
Like, what-
everybody getting.
What? Yeah, but if there's a third down that needs to be converted, it's going to Keenan Allen. And that's just the like.
See, you are wrong because
And
far
if
too
I know
many
it-
times the ball's gone to Mike Williams on big plays.
Well, you can only
I
throw
don't
to him
know.
so
I
many
know
times
it.
before
The
he
other
gets
team
hurt.
knows it.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but Keenan Allen.
And I
is
love
so-
Keenan. Keenan's a great player, but he's
I
a
was
little too
gonna-
reliant on
I
it.
was going to do this tomorrow. But do you remember when Keenan Allen went on the internet this summer and just thought of himself as
No.
a really good football player and everyone
No.
lost their minds?
I don't think that anyone
That nobody
cared.
lost their minds. No
I
one
was gonna say
remembers.
that sounds like Chargers bubble type stuff.
No, he.
You were on Chargers Reddit. and
This
what came up.
is living my truth, Geoff Twitter.
Keenan Allen called himself a top 3 receiver. Like he's
Yeah,
just
people are
talking
probably
himself
like,
up,
okay.
and people literally lost. No, not just people. Like other receivers in the league were like chirping back at him on Twitter because he got into this thing. But people are stupid. There's even that receiver in Miami that got into the thing with Michael Thomas, saying he doesn't like run routes past 12 yards, so he shouldn't even count. Receiver Twitter is crazy. I'm sorry. Keenan Allen's really good, and he runs the most exceptional routes in the league.
More than Cole Beasley?
Probably.
No, great route runner, Cole Beasley. Wouldn't get open if not.
Okay.
Allen is probably the best receiver that you've ever had in the last 25 years, which is hard to believe.
Yeah, of course.
I thought
Of course.
Vincent Jackson was the best receiver you were ever going to see.
No, but you know
And,
who
he's
you know
better
who
than
Vincent
V-Jax.
Jackson reminds me of? Vice versa, this Pittman. And Phillip just once Phillip trusts you, it's up chucks. You should own this Pittman in the fantasies.
I do. I have him in the keeper league.
Because
I'm redshirting him though. I don't need him.
Phillip
in this
throwing picks in those situations won't hurt you owning Pittman.
No, it'll only help.
But-
It's like owning Jameis.
But I know Phillip well enough to know that guy like gets the opportunities gamely. Like that is in Phillip cannot remember he's a sex addict. Like he can't turn off his desire to do that. I don't know where we were.
I was going to tell. We'll save it for tomorrow. But Atlanta is fucked if Julio sits. Every time he's
Yeah,
not.
They
Every,
sure are.
every time he's not on the field, they are wretched. Like horrible.
think-
Like they can't move the ball.
Atlanta's
without him.
what did you say?
Like Julio's not going to play.
Who do they play?
I don't know. It's
they played
Denver.
somebody decent.
No.
Oh, no, Oakland.
Las Vegas. Like
Or,
Vegas.
sorry, yeah, Las
Vegas
Vegas.
is going to go in and stomp them. And people be like, oh, we just saw Vegas. Atlanta's going to have a nice rebound game. They should have scored. Matt Ryan just threw for over 300 yards but didn't throw a touchdown. He's done that fucking 4 times this season. And it's all without Julio. When he's not there, like, they don't know what to do. Like, Ridley's good. They have good players.
I'll tell you why people won't like Atlanta this week. Because you said they're playing the Raiders, who, when you play like that versus the Chiefs, it
Twice.
feels like a win. Like the Chargers, I'm not comparing the Chargers to the Raiders. Like the Chargers played that game versus the Chiefs, and then like they lost, it was close. Mahomes had to come back at the end. It was like this public perception, oh, the Chargers won, and then next week they're like even a bigger favorite against Carolina game.
What
they can't win.
I'm saying is, no
Atlanta
matter what the
fucked
spread is,
people
take the
last
Raiders.
week. People liked. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's Oakland at any number. this
Because
week.
people liked Atlanta last week. Like people felt like Atlanta fucked them
I
on
did.
Sunday.
I did.
Not like you and me, but a lot of people are like, oh, I can't believe they're not starting
did.
Jameis.
I'm
a Jameis
I
guy,
was certain of it.
and I'm upset about that. But it didn't change my opinion as to how the game would.
No, of
play
course
out.
not. Listen, I think they would be better if they played Jameis, but Taysom Hill's good enough to be the
Sean
lineup.
Payton is smart enough to know. No, I don't need to score like 30 to win the game. I just need to play smart football and have a guy that's not going to make a crucial mistake. And I need to
I also
survive.
think he's a bit of a troll, which I like. I think
Sean
Sean Payton's
Payton?
a little bit of a troll. He's a little bit of a troll. He knows what he's doing, and I love it.
He definitely knows what he's doing.
I think it's great when you're him and you can't get fired and you've won a Super Bowl and you read all these people who think they can do their job better than you when you know you can do your job better than any of them could ever dream to. Then you get to troll them a little bit, have some fun. Like not to the point where you'd hurt your team, but I think he's doing exactly. I mean, I think obviously Jameis is a lot better than Taysom Hill too, but I can't be mad at the guy. I think it's kind of devilish what he's doing, and I think it's great. I'm sorry, it's the contrarian rascal in me that likes it.
Well, now it is time in the show, Tim, for a Cust Corner Thanksgiving Mini.
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner. It's Cust Corner. Cust Corner.
What do you have Thanksgiving wise?
Okay.
You gonna talk about your tug at the Nordic Spa?
Well, I was going to save my story for the Nordic Spa tomorrow. Do you want me to use
yeah,
it now?
we'll save that for tomorrow. Do you have anything Thanksgiving related?
I mean, this is the first year in forever because of the pandemic that I'll be watching all the games by myself. And so it's going to lose a lot of its luster to not be out and about to watch the Thanksgiving games.
Football
So
by
I'm just gonna
itself
buy-
sucks.
I'm going to buy a turkey Hungry Man
Oh,
and eat
no.
that during the Dallas game.
Oh,
And
no,
that
Tim.
will be that. Well, no, and I think that's actually my way of celebrating it, I guess. I
Revolting.
can't remember the last Thanksgiving wherever I've been out watching the games with people. For me to be cloistered, unable to watch. I sat in traffic for 3.5 hours in a snowstorm last year to watch football with people. I love watching Thanksgiving with people. That won't happen this year. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's always a different experience for us being Canadian versus being American, despite the fact that everyone I know who likes football takes Thanksgiving as like a day off. Like I've never missed. When we were in college, we had 2 guys skip exams to come watch football. They didn't graduate, but still, we knew where their priorities rested.
Even like my
It was
friends
watching
with
football.
like,
but it was always it was a party day
yeah.
for us. We just
Yes.
got hammered all day long and watch
Even-
football and eat wings.
Yeah.
It was great.
And even my friends with like important jobs now, like jobs that couldn't they literally just like get a table at like an establishment and just like have a tab
Have
like on
meetings
work. Yeah.
all day.
Like there's no stopping us. Like
No,
if you like
I-
football, you're watching it.
I take annual leave every year for Thanksgiving, but this year, what was the point?
I know, and you work at home now.
Well, that's it, and I can't go see anybody. So like,
I thought, why can't you go see anybody?
well, they've tightened up some restrictions here recently because we've had an outbreak of 9-10 cases a day in the last couple of days.
We're at
So
like
they've been.
Yeah, we're like 500 a day.
1500.
I know. Well, I know, but it also is like, are we all gonna? The sports bar that we always went to has been closed, and they rented. It's a new sports bar in that place, but it's not the same place. And it just doesn't seem like people are getting together this year for American Thanksgiving for whatever reason, which is deeply saddening to me because I love doing it. But
You need to rally the troops. Go to someone's house.
in 2021,
No, you're still
well,
allowed.
no,
You're still allowed to go to people's houses, aren't you?
group restrictions are down to 5 visitors to a house max right now.
There you go. Just get 5 of you together.
So anyway, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. But you know what? Thanksgiving 2021 will be a blowout, and it'll be a lot of fun. I hope. That's where I'm going with it. That I hope next year. Certainly, we'll never take it for granted again. That's for sure. And I know what a big celebration it is south of the border, and my heart's go out to you people that you really can't celebrate the Thanksgiving that you want. But
If you think that's stopping people, you've lost your mind.
but it will stop some people.
It'll stop some people, yes.
But it's probably also causing a lot of like division within family.
I would think so.
Because like I know, just like in mine, like some people
are like, I'm scared of
and
COVID.
we're
The other people are like, fuck
"Listen,
this.
We're all doing this. You and they're like, I don't like it's just like, how come you're not joining us? Like to the people that are in, and like you're ruining it by not.
You're trying to kill
coming,
grandma. It's like,
you're-
I just want to have dinner with
you're
grandma.
trying to kill grandma. Like, I
And you know
imagine
the
it's-
sad thing about it is that this is the name of the holiday. It's Thanksgiving. It's about being pleasant and giving thanks
Yeah,
for the
there
good
won't be-
things
it
that you
won't
have
be.
in life,
It's going to be a very triggered like day, right?
which is terrible. Thanksgiving is always one of my very favorite holidays of the year because it is just about friends and family and being thankful for the world in which you live and for the people that you're close to and for the life you get to have and the freedoms that you get to enjoy in your country.
We are more-
And-
Oh, I'm sorry, Tim. I don't know what country you live in. I live in communist North America. I have no freedoms. I'm like Matt Leinart and Matt Stafford's wife. I'll put in one. The
Yeah,
tyranny,
well,
Tim.
That's I mean but that goes back to something I talked about last week or 2 weeks ago when I talked about American political culture being exceptional. Like there's just a streak in American political life, which, and again, I have a lot of tolerance for it. It's sort of a libertarian.
Okay,
don't
but
tread on me
which-
streak.
Is there? Do you have a bet? Do you have a favorite for which? I guess, for lack of a better term, but high-profile Democratic politician is going to get busted for having
Everyone
Yeah,
over.
for participating in Thanksgiving.
Probably
Like,
Andrew Cuomo.
it's the
I
big,
hope it's his turn.
it's the
Andrew
big
Cuomo after
gotcha
screaming
thing.
at people. Yeah, exactly. The governor of California goes to the French Laundry with the head of the California Health Department or something indoors and then smiles during his apology. The mayor of Washington, D.C. goes to the Joe Biden rally, then exempts herself from quarantine because it was an essential trip.
Didn't Gretchen
yeah, I mean,
Whitmer do something too?
Gretchen Whitmer's husband was allowed to get away with all kinds of things that they turned the
I didn't want to
This
turn
sort
this
of
into
stuff
that,
is
but like
so
it's going to be a
terrible.
gotcha week, right? It's going to be a polarizing day,
people
and
will
it's
Which,
gonna
so,
be like,
which is the absolute worst possible thing. Which is
yeah, right.
do
But
your
you got
thing.
to. But leaders need to set good examples.
Well, I think that's all out the window, Tim. I'm not going to lie.
And when
to
you don't set a good example for these things, people think, well, if they're not going to not see their family and not eat indoors, why should I? Like that's a natural, comprehensible human instinct. That like, why is it that the commissars in the USSR get to drive around in their own Ladas, and why don't I have anything? Right? Like it's not, you don't like if we're all going to have to suffer the consequences and shoulder the responsibility, we all better be doing it, right? If we're all in this together,
Shared
then we better all be in
experience.
this.
It's because we vote these idiots in.
Well, in some ways,
Or-
we are
or not.
We are responsible for our own decisions too, right? These people hold power because they were elected, and maybe people should not be electing these people if they don't like the way they're acting. I mean, that's a fair point.
All I know is I'm a pretty cynical guy, but I am not cynical to the point where I think like the government will try to poison me with the vaccine.
No,
Like that. I'm not like.
well, it was good knowing you, Jeff.
So you can
Like,
take
I
that
just don't
vaccine
understand
first,
that.
not bad.
I'll be first in line to get a vaccine
Yeah.
if when it's my turn. Whenever they
And
say
then
people in
even
my demographic,
this is
or
the
age
other
location
part
get
about
one,
it.
Well,
I'll be there.
aren't they just going to be like, who has the most money? You can buy the vaccine right away. Isn't that what we're doing here?
I don't think so.
You
I don't
can't-
think
you
so. I don't know how
you
it
can't grease
rolled
the
out.
right wheels.
Healthcare workers
Nope.
are going to get it first.
One
As
would
they
hope.
probably should.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
working.
And
it's
then
the
people in long-term care
rollout. The
facilities.
rollout of this vaccine is going to be the greatest undertaking of our lifetime.
Yeah, this is like D-Day, but from a
Oh, boy.
from terms of logistics,
I didn't mean
like terms of
like-
organizing everything.
Yeah, I kind of meant it into
Never been
like,
done before. This
that.
type of
It's
thing
the
has never been
biggest
done
like
before.
endeavor of our life, at least like guys in and around our age. Like the
Yes,
rollout
absolutely.
of this vaccine.
I assure
Absolutely.
you, there are a lot of people out there who are willing to let you guys go first.
I'll go.
Yeah, they'll let
Which
you
I
cut in
think
the
is
line.
so sad. Which I think is so sad. Like other people should be my guinea pigs. I should treat other people as means to my end. That's so terrible.
And I also
But I
don't.
mean, I'm no more or less important than anybody else. And if it's my turn, then it's my turn to have the vaccine. And I think people say, well, I know, let's just see how everyone else does. I'll be real clever and get mine later. That's a terrible and a shameful attitude.
I see.
And an ungallant and
No,
unpatriotic.
I get not
attitude.
wanting to be first edition.
I'll be first. I'm
Okay,
not treating other people as means to my ends.
Fair enough, but I think that the point that people are having with it in terms of not wanting to be first is that this is going to be rushed to the market to get out right away. Usually, vaccines take a whole lot
Won't
longer
the
than this
military
to make.
get it first?
Part of the reason that it takes so much longer is that there is so much red tape that has to be dealt with that was just done away with here. So
well,
much
I feel like that could that
solicitation.
I think in people's minds, including mine, that could be a bad thing that they haven't maybe tested it to its fullest extent.
Okay, but I mean that to me is almost bordering on giving the anti-vaxxers some fuel to their fire, and I'm not interested in giving them any fuel. If the medical professionals say it is safe for you to take, and it has gotten its approval, you have a duty, I think, to get it, and I will be there to get mine when the time
Sure,
comes.
if it's signed off on, but if it came out like tomorrow, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Well, I
Well,
assume
yeah, but
at
Donald
least-
Trump's not just going to grab a syringe and say, "Okay, who's next?" Like Santa Claus.
Oh,
people going on a
how
jet.
do you know
That's not gonna happen.
Did you?
No.
Oh, really? You say that's not going to
That's
happen?
not how this happens.
You don't think that's on the exact thing you just described? Trump grabbing syringes and giving people vaccines. You don't think that's on the table? That's on the table.
Trump
No,
is going to
that's not,
give them.
that's not how this
No,
works.
does
Well, you
it-
say that's not how it works. That is most definitely on the table. I'm just
Doesn't
telling you.
didn't I say this already? But I swear to God, it was a real thing. Trump wanted to get the vaccine to mall Santas
Yes,
first.
that's
He
'cause
wanted
just
them to
doesn't-
be like the
he doesn't
first
think.
people to get it. So like
That's
mall
back,
Santas.
that's back before he just gave up and is just going to spend the last 2 months of his job doing nothing.
Until he wins.
Yeah,
But even the people.
Anyway.
I'm not gonna lie.
I
guys.
feel-
I'll wait for other people because I remember I worked as like after university, didn't know what the hell I was gonna do with my life. I worked for a short period of time as a security guard for an H1N1 vaccination clinic. Do you want to wait in the freezing cold for like 3 hours outside as like Karens are like freaking
No.
out, losing their mind?
I think it'll be different.
I'll go late and get it done just because I don't want to wait in line. For
I don't
like
think it's
3
gonna
hours
be
doing this
like
shit.
that. I think you might even be like mailed your like date. Like I think they're gonna try to, at least in
Set
Canada,
it
do
up.
it very organized. I think for the kids, it's like the first day of school. Like it's gonna be just everybody. You can't your kid can't go into the school unless you're like there that day on vaccine day.
Additionally, I don't think it's going to be here quite as soon as people think. People are now acting like, oh, next week, vaccines, let's go.
No,
It's gonna
the
be-
first
Can I
tranche
go to
will be
Vegas
in,
next
in
fall?
January.
Next,
I've been
Paul,
hearing
Paul and I
March.
talked about this.
I
for-
heard
Fall,
March
like, give me
on like national news last night.
we
So
By
March means
August.
like June,
I
July.
think by August we'll all have had the vaccine by August.
That seems reasonable. Maybe
don't curse this,
September.
Tim. We want to get
No.
we want to go back to Vegas.
As do I. I'd like to travel. I'd love to come to Toronto. I'd like to go visit places. Not really. I don't like to travel much.
You have
but I like to
Google?
see it.
Don't you have Google
Yeah,
Maps?
you can
for
Google
that?
Map it all. No one's been
Yeah,
been
but I mean,
traveling
I would
more
like to be
during the
able to-
pandemic than Tim.
Just
I-
go
I'd like
watch the
to-
Bellagio fountain on YouTube.
Honestly, it's not even so much for me. I'd like to just see other people going to ball games and hockey games and enjoying themselves. I just think that would be so much better. I mean, there will be, and we'll talk about it when the time comes. And I can't wait till we get to talk about perhaps some of the excesses that we will see, much like we saw in the 1920s that there were excesses. But that's a great problem to have, and I can't wait for us to have those.
What you
problems
looking at,
because
Something good there, Jeff?
you got
Just
there,
pop up in your,
Jeffy?
someone little bird DM
Oh,
you?
What
Yeah.
happened?
Just out of nowhere. I mean, I should just save it for tomorrow, but someone who I really trust and would never just message me this, just messaged me, a highly respected gambler, to let me know the Chargers will beat the Bills.
Well, Tim is picking the Bills, so that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, the Bills are actually on my short list for money or super locks. Actually,
See,
I
here
like
you
the
go.
Bills.
He's probably live
I
listening.
will
in.
even out this person as a past guest of yours, Rob Pizzola. I guess he felt he wanted to suck up to me and let me know. That's what he thought.
feel like the Bills have been his kryptonite this year.
Maybe. The Bills off a bye. Tim, if you were me, Jets off a bye, Bills off a bye, is the league office out to get me or what?
I would be apoplectic.
2 weeks in a row?
Apoplectic.
It's a rookie. They need all this extra time. What's going on?
Yeah. I'd be fit
I
to
don't
be
care.
tied.
I don't care.
No one in their right mind would care. That's why insane people care about it. Tim, you have to hit us with your Thanksgiving ranks, though.
What would you like me to rank?
Food on Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do this definitively. Then the number one thing by far is stuffing. If you think it's anything else, you're a fool. You don't know what you're talking about.
I do like
Number
stuff.
2, cranberry sauce.
Oh,
Cranberry sauce is a must-have. In my opinion, if you don't have cranberry sauce, you haven't had Thanksgiving dinner. Third, the dark meat of turkey. Just the dark meat. White meat is trash. I wouldn't feed that to my cat. So the dark meat of turkey is third. Fourth, carrots. Unsung vegetable of Thanksgiving is the carrot. Gotta have it. 5, mashed potatoes. I don't have mashed potatoes that often. So mashed potatoes fits just in the top 5 rank. Then there's a gap. At that point, you have your fall vegetables. All of them are fine, but I'm not in love with any of them. You got your squash and you got your turnip. And then, then last, it would definitely be white meat on the turkey. Now, gravy goes on all of it. There's also a debate about whether gravy should just go on the meat or just on the veggies. I want as much gravy on my plate as possible. I want that thing floating in gravy.
Yeah,
I get to have gravy a couple of times a year at most. So when the opportunity, like I could take that whole gravy boat and use the whole thing myself and have some extra gravy on the side for dipping. That's my
like
opinion.
every restaurant you go to has gravy.
But very few people order it.
But you
You
could
could
like
if you wanted to.
go like all
No,
like
I don't
your
want it, though. I
hamburger
want it.
joint. Like
you can get it at
it.
McDonald's.
Yeah,
if
you
want.
could get it with your French fries anywhere you
I
go.
don't though. I only get it at big family dinners like Thanksgiving or Christmas.
I mean, for
Or
Tim
Easter.
Too Rich, for a condiment you seem to enjoy so much, the like 75-cent cup of gravy's holding you back here.
I guess so. I don't have it very often. So when the
Think ab-
opportunity arrives, and also
I
I
think
like
you don't think
the way
about
my
it when
mother
you're at
makes
these
gravy, or I like the way
places.
my grandmother makes gravy, and you can't get that elsewhere. I want the plate floating in it. Gravy is delicious.
You know how I'm known?
Do you have a gravy boat?
Oh yeah, we have a gravy boat that's even got. Anyway, it sounds too rich, but it's kind of gilded in some ways.
I am known generally for having 100% good takes, but I know this is a bad take. I fucking hate gravy.
I love
hate
it.
That's
so
a
much.
terrible
I hate
take.
it. I know it's a bad take. I just don't like it.
What about country gravy, Tim?
Oh, country gravy's delicious.
What about
Like
some,
on,
what about
like
some
on
of this
biscuits?
other stuff?
Yeah, like that sort of
Like
stuff.
biscuits in the States? Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's deep.
What about like corn and green beans and that kind of thing?
Eh,
What about the
I
side
think-
rolls? What about candied yams and sweet potatoes?
What about a honey glazed ham?
get your ham
that's
off
the
my
Jew
Thanksgiving
talking.
table.
I
you're-
would prefer. I like ham more than I like turkey.
Ham belongs at Easter. Doesn't belong at Thanksgiving.
Jeez, I'm sorry there.
Sorry, I feel very strongly about this.
I love a
I don't know, I
glistening
mean-
honey
Sucks.
glazed.
What about mac and cheese? People love mac and cheese with Thanksgiving.
Not in Canada, they don't.
No, but we're
I did not
doing
grow
a
up with that.
Thanksgiving.
But like that authentic
But I can't
homemade
rank it.
mac and cheese is delicious.
I can't. It's
I
like people who have
also-
salad
I hate mac
with
and
their
cheese.
Thanksgiving dinner.
Fucking hate it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge lover of it. It's okay.
And I like good rolls.
I'll eat 500 rolls.
Yeah.
Just I need real
Yeah,
butter
roll.
with it though. And the butter can't be too cold. You know how people store the butter in the fridge to keep
No,
it
it's
warm?
gotta be
You need
like
to have that
salt,
out
yeah.
for like an hour.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be like soggy like margarine,
No.
but it needs to be just. You
Yeah.
need to be able to get.
Yeah.
That's
get
why
right
the good
flow.
Lord invented butter dishes for you to keep on your counter, so for the butter to keep in it.
I don't use butter enough just to have out all the time.
Fair enough, but that's what a
So-
butter dish is for. Although, also, I'll take margarine. any day
Butter
of the week or
dish.
2080.
You prefer
yeah.
margarine over real butter?
I love margarine.
Do you
Or
just-
2080 or 50-50.
You know how we have our friend that when his wife goes away, he is just like the most useless person in the world? That you'll go over to his house and the only thing that's there is a peanut butter
Empty pizza
jar with the
boxes?
top open.
And the
with-
spoon's still stuck inside.
No, it's usually just a bunch of like spoons that are just in the sink because all he can eat when his wife is away is ordering pizza, and there's just a bunch of pizza boxes in the oven that are just because he can't turn on the oven, and then just him eating peanut butter out of the jar. I feel like that's what you would be like with margarine. You just eat it with a.
That's revolting.
No. I would not do such a thing.
He's
But I
talked
do.
about pouring simulated bacon bits into a bowl and eating it like cereal.
Plain
you don't think
butter-
that eating margarine is on the table out of the thing for him?
Okay, well, fair enough, but I wouldn't have done that. And I think green beans are tasty, but overrated. Corn is useless.
I
Like,
love corn.
corn's good on the cob on you got a barbecue and you can slice it off and eat it. But at Thanksgiving, I don't know.
It may be on your Thanksgiving Hungry Man though. There may be some corn in there.
Yeah, what's
Oh,
in
I'm sure-
corn,
I'm
corn
sure
and a
it will be.
brownie or something. Maybe an apple crumble. Who knows?
I think it comes with the cob. I do think it comes with white meat, which is unfortunate. But you can't get the dark meat ones, and you just slather that thing with their gravy. And Hungry Man gravy is actually really good, so you can slather that on there.
So
But again,
hold on a second. I only like my grandma's gravy recipe. That's why I don't get gravy. Hungry Man gravy is also excellent. How do those things match up?
well, I didn't say I only like my mother or grandmother's gravy.
But
I
if,
said that I
if
really,
hung-
really like
if
this.
Hungry Man gravy is good by you, you don't think every
is.
place that has gravy is probably as good as that?
I don't know. It fits the bill. I just think it's really good.
I'll tell you who the biggest loser in these lockdowns is, Geoff. Who it affects the most. I thought it was you because you can't go to the Chargers game of anyone on earth, but it's actually me.
I'm fine.
It's really
I'm an introvert. It doesn't bother
It's
me.
really
I don't
starting
even
to
like
affect
going
me.
out.
You know how it gets like dark out early?
Yeah.
I love it.
My grandfather suffered from seasonal depression, and I think I must have it a little bit too. Like I really don't like when it's like, especially yesterday. It was snowing,
Oh,
and then
that
it was
feels bad.
cold, and then it was raining, and then it was really windy, and then it was just dark out. It was like this is the fucking
Ideal.
worst. This not a good place, good headspace. But what I like to do during the winter time is go to the tanning salon once a month and get like my 8 minutes of juice. Makes me feel really good.
Are those like all locked closed?
But
Right?
they're all closed. But I would deem it's an essential service. They did not hear my request. So now no one is more impacted by the shutdown than me.
You deep tan.
Well,
I'm
obviously,
not doing it to
we
get the
need to ask
tan.
one of our wealthier listeners to mail a tanning bed to your studio.
Yeah, Pauly D, if you're listening, I need a tanning bed. But I only want to use it once a month because I don't want to go like get a tan because it's really horrible for
You
you.
can store it behind the wall.
No,
and then only roll it
there's
when you need
there's far too much stored behind the wall right now.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot going on behind that wall that people don't see. There's giant boxes of stuff. I don't know how we're gonna move out of this fucking studio. I might have to take a sledgehammer to this fucking wall. I don't know how to get it out the door.
Sledgehammer. I want to be a sledgehammer.
That will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. What are you doing for your show this week? Same time as normal? Wednesday and
Yeah,
Friday?
we're gonna just talk Thanksgiving. I think I'm gonna have someone on. Well, I don't want to like tease it.
No, why would you want to do that?
I just don't want to say the guest and then it like not happen. But I'm pretty sure because we've been trying to plan it for a few weeks. So I'm gonna just shoot in the shit with Meanie for a little bit.
Chris Meany?
Yeah,
The Chris
the
Meany?
Chris
I was going to
Meany.
have him on my show this week.
So do it. I'll forget someone else.
No, I haven't even asked him yet. I was trying to think of like who can I get for the DraftKings show this week because all American guests that are on the table are going to be celebrating Thanksgiving. So I need to get a Canadian
it's
to talk
weird,
about the DraftKings slate.
See, like Wednesday night would normally be such a huge like traveling night, right?
Correct.
But now
In Peggy Hill's opinion, the day before Thanksgiving is the busiest travel day of the year.
that's probably true.
Of course, it's true. That's Peggy says that stuff all the time. That's why it was a funny joke.
May have to beep that.
That will do it.
All right.
Oh, Jesus, Tim. Yeah, we're just going to cut that out.
Okay.
Whew. All right. That will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. First time ever bleeped on this show. Tim Andercust!
Tim and August.
Really?
Not my name.
I guess he doesn't curse or.
No, or say things that will get us sued.
It could happen tomorrow when he breaks down his Nordic spa experience.
That's true. A lot of legal activity, I'm sure,
yeah.
from Tim Too Rich. So that will be on tomorrow's show. Did you have fun at your Nordic spa at least?
Oh, it was marvelous. I will be going again.
Okay, good to hear. Geoff Fienberg show, 10 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, 2 p.m. Eastern on Fridays?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh
I'm asking
my
you.
God.
Yes.
All right, good to know. You can watch
Sorry,
that on
I'm thinking about his hate for Governor Cuomo right now. It kind of just caught me off guard.
You can watch
He's the
that
worst.
on ftndaily.com, the Geoff Fienberg show. Subscribe to the Pat Mayo Experience
Live
audio.
and free.
He's trying to do the outro, man. Even I know that.
Oh, wow. This show went real off the rails. 3 games, about an hour and 45 minutes.
Take it home, Geoff.
Sorry. I just got distracted because I see Chris Cuomo's the Cuomo's in trouble because he's having family over for Thanksgiving. And
Of course he is. That's what I knew that would happen. I knew that would happen. Paragons of example.
I can't do your outro. I'm sorry for interrupting it. I can't. I failed. I'm wrong.
I was promoting your show.
But you didn't remember what time what was.
No, I was just so taken aback that your prediction was literally right like 2 minutes after you said it.
That will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. I'd like to thank you all for tuning into this. I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. We'll be back with the full Week 12 preview show, which will probably be exactly the same length as this one for 3 games. On Wednesday, you can check out all the rest of the shows. I have Thanksgiving DraftKings picks up already. You can play the Pat Mayo Experience Listeners League. Remember to rate and review the podcast. Smash the like button on the way out. Sub to Mayo Media Network as well. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.
Mayo Experience! Experience!